Just FYI, I started the live stream.
Oh, okay.
I know we still have 3 minutes, but
you're looking for my Amazon, I will be printing those out as soon as I can. I have to figure out how to get them off of there because I'm familiar with mine, but the business one's a little different. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call and ask because I was looking for just a simple, price and everything like that. It doesn't show it, but I'll get it to you.
Oh, okay. Yep. Is he good with that? Okay. Okay, so I'm sticking this in here. Yeah, they can sign there. Yeah, they'll have to sign it. Did you remember your Bible?
She reminded me too.
Um, Got 1 minute. Got 1 minute. It goes to Nancy and
I just read that. You saw it mine already.
yeah. Yeah.
All right, to pledge allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the prayer. Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision, neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of all authority, and we may use it in our directives for the common good. For thy honor and glory, amen. Thank you. A call to order, please.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Here.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Morrow,
Aye.
Dr. Sherma,
Present.
Ms. Sherma,
Aye.
Ms. Sabo.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Want to also first start out with, want to thank everyone who has been in compliance, basically putting away their trash cans and cleaning up their yards. I want to appreciate all those people doing that. Secondly, there's a big thing about Halloween this year, whether or not we're going to have it. And we are going to have Halloween. Will be on Saturday, October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. Please leave a candy light on if you're passing out candy. Trick-or-treaters should remember the flashlight so they can be easily seen. Additional details will be are found on page 4 of the Timberlake Times. And in the Timberlake Times, we put in there recommended best practicing for trick-or-treating. And pretty much, just using a lot of common sense, but if everyone can follow the guidelines, and again, if someone is not going to be distributing, just keep your light off. If they are, follow the guidelines, and pretty much everyone can stay safe at that point. We have a couple of officers that we want to swear in now, and also promote. So I need a motion, first of all, to promote Alicia Nagy from a paid officer to a paid officer to $9 an hour.
Falkenberg makes a motion.
Shannon, second.
Okay, great. Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mr. Cronin? Mrs. Morrow?
Aye.
Ms. Sabo?
Aye.
Dr. Sharma?
Aye.
Ms. Sharma?
Okay, thank you. Next, we have a motion approving the hiring of Kalanji Asage and Mansell Baker as auxiliary police
No,
officers.
Special.
Oh, I'm sorry, special officers.
Did we just write your name? Sorry.
I make a motion to approve that.
I second.
Okay, great. Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mr. Cronin?
Aye.
Mrs. Morrow?
Aye.
Ms. Sabo?
Aye.
Ms. Sharma?
Aye.
Dr. Sharma?
Aye.
Okay. Please come on. Hands upward. Put your left hand is right hand up. I, Mansell Baker, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Ohio, the laws and ordinances of the Village of Timberlake, and I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge duties of special patrolman of the Village of Timberlake, State of Ohio, during my continuance in said office. Writing. I, Kalanji Masaji, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Ohio, the laws and ordinances of the Village of Timberlake, and I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of special patrolman of the Village of Timberlake, in the State of Ohio, through my continuance in said office. Congratulations. All right. There's like a picture before we go. Okay, reading of the council minutes. We have a motion to pass the reading of council minutes?
I motion.
I second.
Great. Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Morrow.
Aye.
Ms. Saba,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma.
Okay, thank you. The next one, council work session on September 29th. Do we have a motion to approve the council work session minutes?
Falkenberg makes a motion. I second.
Great. Ms. Falkenberg, Mrs. Morrow,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Saba,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma.
Aye.
Ms. Sharma.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, legislation. First on the agenda. Resolution 2020-19. This is the second reading. A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter an agreement with Bid Loans for a towing service and declaring an emergency. We have that contract here. It's all ready to go. I think we've discussed this already, so if we want, we can get a motion to suspend the reading and pass it if we have a motion.
Cronin makes a motion.
I second.
Sharma seconds.
Right, this is the rules.
It's a motion to suspend rules.
Okay, great. Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara.
Aye.
Mrs. Saba,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma.
Aye.
Dr. Sharma.
Aye.
Okay, do I have a motion to pass resolution 2020-19?
Falkenberg makes a motion. Shannon second.
Great. Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Mrs. Saba,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma.
Aye.
Dr. Sharma.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next one is resolution 2020-20, first reading. This resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to transfer $70,095 from the, or I'm sorry, 95 cents, $70,095 from the general fund to the sanitary sewer debt fund, which is 3101, $14,173.90 for the paving improvement debt fund, and 48 police cruiser debt fund, $6,849.76. So $6,849.76 from for the police cruiser debt, transferring it over for the year 2020 and declaring an emergency.
Oh, yeah, didn't copyright.
So,
I
yeah,
didn't read copyright. Let me reread that resolution. This is resolution 20-2020 is a resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to transfer $70,095 from the general fund 1,000 to the sanitary sewer debt fund 3101, $14,173.90, paving improvement debt fund 3902, $48,977.29, police cruiser debt fund 3903, $6,849.76 for year 2021 and declaring emergency. Didn't copy very well.
so
That's first reading.
first reading, do I have a motion?
No, first reading, don't do
I'm
it.
sorry.
First reading.
Let that go. Okay. Next one, resolution 2020-21, again, first reading. This resolution approving the permanent appropriation funds for the Village of Timberlake, Ohio for the year 2021 and declaring an emergency.
All right, so council knows I did send out the suggested appropriations on this. And so a couple things, since we are on this on first reading, I ask you to please make sure you review it very carefully, suggest any changes that you may want. And this could change, you can change this all the way up to before you vote in December. Because once the budget is approved and it's not included in the list that I had on the agenda, on the other sheets of what bills are there to pay, it will have to come, you have to email either me, the mayor, and all the council. The council, because of the Ohio Sunshine Law, do not respond back to them. I want, just make sure, I want you guys to be informed. And then if it's not on the approved, where you guys, once you approve the permanent appropriations in December, council will need to approve them. I want to try to keep the public more informed on what's going on in this village with their expenditures. And this is even if the levy passes. I have, like the exceptions, if there's an emergency on the police cruiser, the fuel, I gave the whole list of what you guys have on there. Wages, utilities. There's some leeway, but there's some expenditures that we should have. So you guys are all aware. Another thing, the way this budget is currently set, we are deficit spending. And if we continue this way, we can follow eventually, not next year, it could be a couple of years down the road, we can end up getting into a physical watch, physical emergency. I've never experienced these when it's gone into a physical watch or physical emergency. I've never experienced that, so I would not know how, proceeding on that. It's what I've heard from other physical officers, though, if you do fall into that category, then you need approval for just about everything you do, and it's not very pleasant. Have never had that experience myself. And another thing to keep in mind too is that this current budget, there is nothing available if there's a disaster should happen. Like if you should have a major snowstorm that or a tornado comes through here or a windstorm comes through here, we don't have anything really extra built in this budget. We are that tight on there. So I want to let you know, and we can change this a little bit with if the levy would pass, we don't know. And the other thing is if the levy was passing, I think we should keep the public informed and have some of the public's input so they know what our expenditures are, our decisions on our big expenditures a little bit. So I want to keep you guys, so let's make sure you look over that, your permanent and the next year's budget closely.
And the transfer of this money is all for loans, correct?
This first one up top,
For
yes, is
loans.
all for the loans. And as a matter of fact, that right there hurts our general fund right away.
All right, thank you. Any questions on that? Anyone? Okay. Next one is Resolution 2020-22, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with Love Insurance Agency to provide for the continuation of the property and casualty insurance coverage for the village of Timberlake and declaring an emergency. Are we getting other quotes, by the way?
Because this one's so late, we can't get other quotes on this one.
Okay.
Next year,
Um,
I've already reached out to a couple of them, said, yeah, the timing.
Okay. Next one, Resolution 2020-23, first reading. Resolution requesting the county auditor to make advance payments of taxes for the year 2021.
This is so council knows, because I know we have some new members on council. This is to allow the county, then they receive some of the property taxes and they'll advance it out to us in February before we get the final in March. So we need to,
That's a TV talking.
what's going on with this? So they have to have this passed in order to give us an advance ahead of time on there. So I've started, as you notice, I have started these a lot earlier. So we're not rushing into them. So you guys have this month, the next month, and then pass stuff in December. So you can have discussion.
Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. Thank you.
Up there, next one is resolution.
All right. Resolution
Is a
2020-24.
resolution. Is a resolution.
Which one?
When you read it, is a resolution.
Oh. There's resolution, yeah, 2020-24. First reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the village of Timberlake, Ohio, to enter Stefaniak, Iasu, and Associates as village solicitor and setting the duties and salary and declaring an emergency. Any questions on that resolution?
Yes, so that'll actually be ordinance 8.
No, actually, that's actually is a resolution, not ordinance.
Oh, okay, I just want to make sure because it says ordinance under the thing. Okay,
That's what I told him.
Okay. Okay, next one is ordinance 2020-08, first reading. Just an ordinance authorizing the approval and appointment of Vince Cronin as street commissioner of the village of Timberlake, Ohio, pursuant to the provisions of section 735.31 of the Ohio Revised Code and declaring an emergency. So unless we have any other volunteers for that position of $1 a year, well, not yet, only the first reading.
Okay.
Someone can still jump in there. Okay. That's it for our ordinances. Next, reports, mayor's report. The income tax levy. I think everyone already's been informed that, we need obviously this levy to pass. We are deficit spending. And again, what we lost on was the last ordinance or the last levy that didn't pass. We only lost by 17 votes, which was supposed to be for the police, fire, EMS, and again, for even our general fund. But this, we need it for everything. Our tree budget has been being cut every year. And the thing is, we need to increase it every year because trees keep getting bigger. We have more and more trees getting diseased and damaged that need to be taken down. And then we also need to think about replanting a lot of these. So that's one thing we need to do is we need the levy to pass for that. We also need it for service. Our truck is 20 years old and she's still running, but again, we don't know how much TLC Bob Smith can put into that. We're going to try and get another year out of it if we can, but nonetheless, we're going to probably need to upgrade that very soon. And we're going to need probably another zero-turn lawnmower as a backup. We're having issues, especially cleanup time in the fall with the leaves. We have the leaf machine on the back of it, but then again, we're limited because we can't get around things. So it'd be nice to have another lawnmower for that. So that's on the service end. Again, streets, I know we just had our streets done, but again, they're still going to need improving on it and still maintenance on it. Tiring and chipping is one way to get more longevity out, but then again, we'd have to get some money for that. We've always had a problem with our storm sewers. We're trying to get by as best we can. We did have a blockage up on Wobbin. We were able to take care of that. Wyatt came out, they unplugged it, and they TV'd it. We do have an area there where it looks like there's a restriction in there, so we're going to maybe hopefully do a spot repair on that one. But nonetheless, we're just trying to inch along on that to try and just get by. But we were able to save some money in the sewer budget, like I said, by not having them having to come out and pretty much clean all the catch basins. We've been doing that ourselves with the service department, cleaning them out manually, which has been working out really well. So far, we've been able to keep everything open, and we haven't had any issues with plugged up catch basins. The other thing is we also need to maintain our parks, and everything. So we need to replace the split rail fence around the hall here. That's a problem. And then the carpeting in this hall also should get replaced eventually. We're trying to see if we can use COVID money for that, but it can't be done. But, nonetheless, we need to budget sometime in the future to get this carpeting replaced. So these are a lot of things that we're going to need besides, of course, maintaining the police, fire, and EMS. That's pretty much, I think, the backbone of Timberlake, just having our own police department. And then again, we can't do without the fire and EMS. That's just a major necessity, especially we have a lot of elderly now in the village. So, I just want to stress that if you can tell everyone, please help support issue 1. We need this income tax increase very badly. And, that should get us through, these rough times here. So, I already talked to you about Halloween. Again, I'm going to try to reach out to Eastlake about their fire and EMS charge to us. I haven't been able to yet, but again, that's usually a set fee though. So, I doubt we're going to get anywhere with that, especially since they're hurting now because of COVID. I just heard this morning they're losing $600,000 revenue just from the Captain's Field revenue that they're losing on. So, as far as that, what else? Pretty much that's all I have for now. So,
And do the grant. So
the grant, yeah. You want to mention about the grant, Vince?
This is about the Lake Shore. with the
Lake
Lake
Shore
County Council.
Extension.
So we received the street grant from the Lake County Road and Improvement and Economic Development. That's the name of the grant. We received $4,487.50, and it appears that we were able to spend everything, so we won't have to give anything back.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you. All right, that's it for the mayor's report. Solicitor's report, please.
Yes, so the only thing I have to report tonight to council is that, as we talked about before, my wife is due on November 11th, so it's likely that I will not be in attendance for next month's meeting. But Jason from our office, who you see here as well, will be in attendance, and he is very well versed in everything. And I think all you guys that know him and have worked with him. So he will be here, and then I will probably return after that.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Joanne, fiscal officer report.
Okay, I actually would like, I have laying out on the table for everybody to look at too. We touched base on this in the work session, but I know the public wasn't present. I'd like them all to look at the fund summary report for September. And when I read the bottom totals across, so you know, this is for every single fund. So when you're looking at it, when I say that our starting balance for September was $369,998.76, that's for all the funds. But we started September where we can move money around from where we can move money around from department to department is just our general fund, which is the 1,000. We started a balance of $185,057.75. So also this is the money that I use to transfer out to pay for our debt. So I want to make sure the public kind of understands why it does sound like we have a lot of money there, but we don't, because everything underneath that is restricted on how we can spend it on there. So I just kind of hope I was trying to get, and then when you see the unencumbered balance, or I'll read it across. So like, again, our month to date revenue, I collected $23,675.34. That was all we had for a month. Our year to date revenue was $585,819.46. And that also, keep in mind, is a lot of it due to the COVID money that we received in on there.
How much was that? 60-some thousand?
$68,439.59. And then we just got more this month coming in,
More COVID money.
more COVID money. Yes, it is. And
But to be used very restrictively.
we
Right.
can use it for our EMS payment. Because we can use it for the EMS payment over there on COVID. This is the one. I'm gonna tell you what it is. $23,351.16 on there.
Okay.
Our month-to-date expenditures was $38,017.28. Our year-to-date so far is $479,342.59. Our ending balance for September was $355,656.82. And then we have an encumbrance of $77,376.27. So our unencumbered balance is $287,280.55. Of the unencumbered balance, only $105,416.76 is the general fund that we can move around. And as you read, we're going to be transferring 70,000 out here at the end of the year. So kind of hopefully this kind of helps the public understand going forward. On there, I want to try to keep the transparency with that, try to keep everybody informed on what is going on with our finances going forward. On there. So next item, like the last date to actually do purchases, so we can get everything wrapped up and encumbered and paid for in this year will be November 30th. I'd like to have all the invoices in by December 20th. There will be some emergencies that come up. A car breaks down. I mean, you still got to get fuel throughout the month of December. snow removal. Those things are able to continue, but it's like everything else, let's try to wrap it up. On there. I sent out to council. Hopefully they get some understanding of the Ohio ethics and the things like what's considered conflict of interest, what's considered accepting donations, and also that there is an online training that you can take, webinar. Watching the webinars and everything, unfortunately, they do give some insight and some learning, but it's not as good as being in person. I like it, you know, in person, they will take a scenario and actually play it all out for you. Also, we can do, I would maybe want to do, Mayor, even before the next council meeting, they also have the little webinars that actually specifically, they're like 20 minutes long, that says conflict of interest. And it does say accepting donations on how to do that. So I just think that, you know, it's up to you, Mayor, if you guys want to do it a little bit before, they're 20 minutes, 25.
Okay.
Something.
Bring somebody.
The, what, yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah, on it, yeah.
But this will be separate than that webinar training, right?
Yeah, but we can do them here. If you want to do them here, if you want to do them here, you know, yeah, it'd be something than webinar, I don't know,
Okay.
on it. Because actually I have another, I've heard through the grapevine that there's, not in this village, but another community that they have, are running down the Ohio ethics conflict of interest. Not here. Okay. I don't want it to be here. That's the reason why I'm trying to educate on there. On there. So, and also, let's see here, a couple other things. When the council minutes, before council approves them, they should say draft, because anybody from any members of the council can request to be a change to it. The mayor, the solicitor, police chief, you know, may make a correction throughout. So it should say draft when it goes out till they're approved officially by council, anything that's sent out to them. Another item that we ran into a little bit ago, and it's just a reminder to keep everybody going forward. When we apply for grants, we need to have council's approval. Whenever you go to spend any type of money, even if it's reimbursing, we need to have council's approval ahead of time that it's being spent. Because right now we don't even have money really to match the grant. Next item is, and I know Jeremy has handled a lot of this, he's handled a lot of phone calls from this, is in reference to the audit report. And so, you know, on one of the audit reports, it was finding number 2018-06. It's called Internal Controls Deficit and Noncompliance Findings for Fiscal Officer and Council Member Pay. And it states right in there, in this finding, that they find, in addition, council member whose term began January 19th, 2018, was paid a total of $1,500. Our recalculation shows for 7 months of service, the council member should have received $1,050, resulting in an overpayment of $450. When I went back and looked at the council minutes, the person who was approved was Liz. So that's how I got the information, and if Jeremy needs to, he can address from there.
The only thing to address there is I have been in contact with the Attorney General's office, and I'm going to get in contact with the bonding company to figure out all of our options as it relates to that and all of the rest of the findings for recovery. So I did talk to the Attorney General's office today on what the next steps they're going to take and next steps that we need to take. So I'll see what all of our options are on that, and I will report back to council when we do that. And some of that may be at a point where we'll want to discuss some of that in executive session as opposed to an open meeting as potential pending litigation. And I can also reach out. I've talked to 3 of the folks now who are on the findings for recovery, and I'd be happy to talk to Liz or whomever else to discuss those options and things with them as well.
Thank you.
And one other item, I got a whole list. Another thing from Governor DeWine, I don't know if anybody listened to him this afternoon, but he's got $1.3 billion going to Ohio businesses. In reference, he says dividend checks from the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Comp will be mailed to employers beginning this week. The dividends amount total approximately $1.3 billion. The money is being given back to the employers in response to Governor DeWine's request in August that the Ohio BWC Board of Directors approve A second dividend be provided financial support to public and private employers impacted by the ongoing pandemic. These checks will be mailed to employers throughout the end of October. I don't know how much it is. And then the other thing he's got is a wide range of programs to address the needs of struggling Ohioans, including funding for rent, mortgages, water, and sewer utility bills, as well as fundings for small businesses and nonprofits will be announced in the near future. That came out of his thing today.
Okay.
Now I'm done.
All right, thank you. Okay, please chief Ryan's report.
Let's go over some of our stats for the last month. We had 3 accidents, 3 animal complaints, 8 assist other departments, usually the fire department or nearby for any like 1 disturbance, 18 house checks. We had 20 investigation or report calls last month. Home property damage, 2 suspicious persons, 2 suspicious vehicles. I'm sorry, 1 suspicious circumstance, 2 suspicious persons, and 2 suspicious vehicles. 8 traffic stops, 2 citations for the keys and more. Other than that, I don't know if it's because of the lock or because of the weather, but complaints at the beach since putting the lock on is pretty much a minute.
I'm sorry, Chief, it's a little hard to hear you. I just want to confirm, you said 3 accidents, 3 animal complaints, 8 assists, 1 disturbance, 18 house checks, 20 investigations, 1 suspicious circumstance, 2 suspicious vehicles, 8 traffic stops, and 2 citations. Is that correct?
I think we caught up with each other. I have a copy for you. I'll send it home.
Okay, great. Yeah, sorry that your mic's a little muted.
Got really far from it.
It's over here, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you a picture.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll get to the council members. Kim Saba, report, please.
I have nothing to report.
Okay. Sherry, Village Hall.
So hall rentals are down. As a matter of fact, after October 31st, we do not have another rental scheduled until March 20th, 2021. Which, wow.
Yeah.
The hall has not made money this year at all. Anything that is gone out in utilities and stuff like that. We've only purchased a few paper products and some hand towels, so there was no budget there to begin with the situation with our budget. ServPro is coming in the day after election day to do a complete sanitation of the entire building, police department, cruisers, that's covered under our COVID fund, cleaning of the carpeting and everything else. Euclid Glass will be coming in the next couple of weeks to put actuators on the front doors and the bathroom doors so that they will open automatically with like waving your hand in front. And they're actually replacing the 2 bathroom doors as well with wooden doors. Very similar to what they are, but they'll open better. With COVID money, yes. And then we currently have patent pest control, which is charging us $100 per quarter to come in. And I'm not happy with their services because they have not been treating the interior for a long time. So I did not know that until an issue arose last month, and we called them in, and then they just came this morning and treated again. So we have Endeavor Pest Control Management out of Eastlake, who is willing to do a no contract and match their price for the $100 a quarter, which is actually pretty good because they spray the eaves and the whole exterior perimeter, top and bottom, and treat the interior. So we are going to, as of 2021, switched to services, and we are not the only city that has had an issue with the previous pest control. And that's all.
Well, one more thing I'm going to add to that. Also, we have an agreement with Edgeo Plumbing. They're going to be installing touchless faucets for the bathrooms. All the toilets will be all touchless also. The sinks will be touchless, the drinking fountain will be touchless, and they'll be also at the service garage, we'll be doing all touchless there also. So they'll be coming in and doing all that also. So
Which is approved by COVID.
that was all COVID money, yes. So, thank you,
And
COVID.
all necessary, if we don't spend the COVID money, we have to send it back. And in order to keep renting the hall or public use of the hall, we have to have the hands-free and everything meet their guidelines.
Okay. All right, thank you, Sherry. Nancy, Recreation, Trees, Environment.
Well, we had one storm, CEI came out by the class, the tree was removed, but it's still more rubble to be still taken away. We need this levy for trees. We have a beautiful canopy of trees in Timberlake, but we don't have the money to maintain that canopy. If you remember, Mr. John Canuck, Crystal Canuck's son, who is the Eagle Scout, he has gotten the approval by his Boy Scout Council to raise money to give us trees. This is at all cost to them, it's total donation. With that being said, I still want to set a tree commission. I don't know, maybe Ritu, maybe you know, maybe you do, Shannon. To get a tree commission, does that have to be approved by council? I know the mayor actually commissions it, but if I get a tree commission of 3 or 4 people from the village, that has to be all approved. Who I get from the volunteers in the neighborhood. I know it has to be made legal, like we have a monthly meeting, minutes of the meeting, etc.
So there has to be a council person on the committee?
That would be me. That would be me.
So I don't know, besides that, I think it's open to whoever volunteers in the village.
Okay, because I did put it out in the Timberlake Times, and someone just stepped up. The last person just stepped up. I needed a certain amount of people. And with money being so tight, they will also know, the tree commission, how much money we have. So when they give me their advice, we have people that have in this village gone to tree academies that know a lot.
Can I, if you don't mind me asking, can I ask who has already signed up?
Well, it's not official, but I've had people sign up or asked to be on it. Jane Trabaco, because she's actually been on a commission.
Yeah, so as far as what I was told, I think she worked on it previously and she's pretty knowledgeable.
Yeah, she said they didn't do much though, but because this has to be, especially if they're gonna have a say in what kind of trees we buy in the future or replace, and the money will come from council. I wanted this to have more of a knowledge-based.
Yeah, I think that's why we needed like a council person on the committee.
Yeah, because I already see it happening, because when I said what the young man's gonna suggest that we put in, it's great to have a large tree. Excuse me, it's great to have a tree that's indigenous to the area, but then if the canopy gets too big, that's what we're already not maintaining.
Yeah.
But yet you put in a smaller ornamental tree, then it's a messy tree. So, this is where I'm gonna need more, and an arborist is guiding this young man. Either way, he's doing a service for the, and that's progressing. So I want to let you know that's what hopefully I'll still be doing very soon. Once he gets his money and he's buying these little trees. Okay, then we could have the commission start, and the mayor has to commission the commission, I guess. So if anybody else knows more, there's like 10 points on the ordinance of what we have to follow.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately, I wasn't on it. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I've read it over 10.
Jane was on it.
Right. So I know Jane, I told her Jane to read over with me 10 times too, because you have to follow ODNR and things like that. It could get complicated, but then we're not making more of a problem for the village with some trees. Okay. All right, thirdly, the Village Club did a great, I want to thank the Village Club, they did a great fall fest. They had decorating of pumpkins, they had a beautiful scenery for set for pictures. The kids had a lot of fun, they socially distanced. There was prizes, they did a lot of work, a lot of setup. I'm not so sure people don't realize how much work they do. And they had a lot of fun. It was normal for a couple hours. Kids had fun, and they were very, very careful, and it was a beautiful day. So I want to thank the Village Club for doing a great job on that. And I have a couple letters to read, but I'll read that in the public portion about people contact me complaining about certain things in the village, but they do that because I'm his wife. So I'll read you my things that people sent me, and I'll see it in the public portion.
Okay, thank you. All right, Dr. Sharma, give us an update on grants, please.
Mayor and council, I do not have anything to update on grants. Besides that, I have registered for the Ohio ethics law as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any grants I have seen, there's either a match of 50%, something like that. So it hasn't been feasible at all.
Yeah,
Don't think we have the money to
Right,
buy it, right?
nope. Okay, thank you, Doctor. Shannon, give us an update on the sewers, please.
Well, I think you gave a pretty decent update earlier. We had an issue by the playground, Whitewood came out twice, they took care of it. So if we look at the sewer in front of the playground going out towards Lake Shore, they did notice that there might have been a blockage. They thought it was either an animal or maybe something got down there, and unfortunately it's still down there. And I know they sent a video, which I passed along, but they did send us a quote to replace that area for $9,582. Obviously, it's just one of the quotes. After that, I did not see any blockage in that area. So whatever they did has worked so far. They jetted 2 of the sewers there. I believe it was $748. Did we say that? And do we need, is that a resolution or not? It wouldn't be, right?
No,
It's just
no.
under the
Who is it?
$1,000 wide.
Yeah, I paid him.
Okay.
I'll tell you here in a second.
Yeah, but they did what they needed to do. I mean, basically, there were 2 areas that were blocked, 2 sections, and they went in there, they flushed them out, and now they're open. So after the last 2 rains, I double checked myself, and those
Yes.
catch basins are running and they're open, so.
And yeah, I mean,
it did
they
the
went
job.
in, yeah, they came back again, they took care of it again at no charge, they sent a reporting, everything. And they were like half the price of the other quoted ones that we got.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
When I met with them.
So under the sanitary sewer maintenance, you have $23,624.54.
I don't think I used anything else.
So I mean, I know you said you had a problem that you just got a quote.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do anything for a while anymore.
It's not necessary, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're good. Okay, great, thank you. Okay, Vince? Updates on safety, please.
I've got absolutely nothing with safety, but what I would like to say is, I've heard a lot of people talk about the income tax, and I haven't heard anybody up there say it yet, but I think one of the most important things we gotta let the residents know is this is not a tax increase. If you work in another entity besides the village of Timberlake, and you're already getting 2% taken out, right now Timberlake gets 1% of that. All we're doing by passing this levy is saying that Timberlake's getting 2%. Is that correct?
Yeah, it just comes, yeah,
Joanne?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that-
it's not, it's.
Not- it
the
doesn't
levy
get-
is not a tax increase.
and
No,
it doesn't
I just
tax our
wanted to,
seniors.
I just wanted to reiterate that.
Yeah, it's no way.
That's correct. And most cities and villages are 2% or more anyway, so it shouldn't affect anyone unless they're self-employed working within the village themselves. Then it would affect them, it would double that, but other than that, it wouldn't affect anyone at all, so. Okay, thank you, Vince. Okay, the next section is, I need a motion to approve the September 2020 financial reports.
Falkenberg makes a motion.
I second the motion.
Great. Ms. Falkenberg? Aye. Mr. Cronin?
Aye.
Mrs. Mara?
Aye.
Mrs. Sable?
Aye.
Ms. Sharma?
Aye.
Dr. Sharma?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next one is a motion accepting a donation of 2 round waste cans from Nancy Mara and John Mara.
So the reason this is on there is we need council's approval because technically all donations, you can have the right to accept them or to reject them. So that's the reason I have it put on here. You can get something that you might decide you don't want to take it. So it's council's got to make the decision to accept them or reject them. So that's the reason it's the way it is not saying approval.
And what is the,
We had some complaints of the trash cans that were near the doggy poop stations. We had like a garbage can, they were open, people were just throwing garbage, everything in there, and again, they were smelling.
Yeah.
So I found online they go right with the waste station, the one that the Village Club provided, they have those doggy stations. Well, there's a trash can that goes right below it with a lid, invented, and basically, and they mount right on there, so it's all self-contained, so it makes it nice, it looks very nice appearance-wise, so my wife and I donated that to the village, 2 of them, so.
Thank you.
And then you get somebody to make a motion to accept it.
Falkenberg makes a motion to accept.
I second.
Okay, great. Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mr. Cronin?
Aye.
Mrs. Morrow?
Aye.
Mrs. Seba?
Aye.
Ms. Sharma?
Aye.
Dr. Sharma?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, next, we're gonna open up to the public comments and questions. Again, we're gonna direct it 3 minutes per subject. And
Nancy had some things.
do you wanna say, well,
Oh, what I wanted to say first.
all right, you wanna say it first then?
Oh, there was a person that came to me, they wanted me to read this letter. They wanted council to let them know that they couldn't be here tonight. They wanted to talk about, have you ever seen the hometown heroes in Willoughby or in Eastlake? The signs, the flags, okay? Even though we're a very small little village, she's still requesting for me to read this, and I love her idea, but I don't know if Timberlake can do this, and this would have to get to council. And I told her I'd read it in the pre-planning, because there's no sense in her going through with this if we don't think it's possible. This is from the family of William R. Crotster, 19 Owasso. In accordance with the conversation, I'm writing to ask you to present a request to Timberlake Village Council. William Crotster, who passed away in April of this year, was a resident of Timberlake since 1957, and among other things, was a former naval officer who served in World War II. His 5 adult children would like to erect a hometown hero banner somewhere in Timberlake to honor his memory. The Morgan Litho Company, the vendor that provides most municipalities in Lake County with their hometown hero banners, has been contacted and will be providing us with information in the near future for options such as size and content. We are submitting this formal request to determine if the village council will present and ultimately vote to allow us to display such a banner somewhere in Timberlake. The cost of printing and the mounting hardware will be donated by our family. It is our understanding that banners are mounted on utility poles and are typically put up annually by the municipalities, service departments, close to Memorial Day, and taken down around Veterans Day. If it would be considered an extraordinary expense to mount and remove the banner at those times, the Crosser family would be willing to pay that expense as well. Please let us know when and if our request is voted upon and accepted, and if accepted, if there will be any specific requirements or directions for size, location, and mounting. We will then proceed to order the banner. Thank you for your consideration. So sincerely, Dr. Conleth M. Crosser. The point I'm making is I didn't know where to go with this. I don't even know, because we've never had something like this. We're a very small village. Would this even be possible? Do we entertain this? It was just respectful that I needed to present it. So
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
We have the American flags out on the telephone poles on Lakeshore Boulevard. I believe they're on every single one of them. That's what the Village Club put up last year, correct? Right. These, I think they're at a good height where these might be able to go right above them. I think if you put them below them, it'd be a little too low, but I think that's a great idea. And I think that we should open up to other residents that serve as well.
because they're willing to cover all costs.
Mhm.
I told her we're broke.
This is a great idea.
So yeah, I agree that if other residents would like it as well, that we could accommodate them if they're willing to pay the expense. And, we could recommend that they all go through Morgan Litho. They are
Yeah, that's
very
what she's
good
going with.
printers.
Because we'd have to
Yeah.
approve their artwork. Okay, because, Willoughby has their artwork. Timberlake would have their artwork. I would give her, I'm assuming, because she said, because Willoughby offered to take her. Like, we'll take her, like, we'll
Well,
do
the
it.
printer will
But she
send
wants it
you
in
a
Timberlake
proof.
because, pardon me?
The printer will send you a proof.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because it has to represent Timberlake, with
Yeah.
the Timberlake logo and so forth. So what I'm asking you, should she go through with this?
I think
I
so.
mean, the planning, we don't know, you know, should she begin looking and talking to us, presented it at the next council meeting? She could not be here tonight.
Yeah. I would say yes.
I mean, are we taking a vote? How do we do this? I don't want to do.
Why don't I make a motion to accept this conversation? Maybe look at the logo. Yeah, her proposal.
And have her on next month's agenda?
Yeah, yeah.
Does that work?
So that way she gives her
Jeremy, does that work?
a month to get approved from the printer.
Yeah.
And bring it in to show all of us, and then it gives her time to get it printed and everything before
Then we can work on
May,
that.
when she would want it erected.
So have her attend the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay, with
With the
what she
proof.
has.
Yes, that we're okay with it.
Okay. Okay.
And then is the cost, I mean, to save even some money, is the cost the same for one person versus a 5 or 6 one? You know, I don't know how many here in the residence.
Right, I don't know how many, but even the ones in Willoughby, everybody pays per their family member.
Right,
The
right.
city pays nothing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you know, what I'm saying is like, so if they're printing up 5 for Timberlake, even
Oh,
though they're a
but
different
see-
one, would it be a different
Yeah,
cost?
it's a
or no?
different one, because they each have their families hit the picture on it, and if it's Navy or.
Okay,
Marine
that's what I
or-
didn't know if it was.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's what I'm asking.
but that way she would have a cost for anyone
Mm.
else who's interested.
So we should put her on the agenda for the next meeting?
Yep.
Okay. And I'll go back first. Okay, that took up more than 3 minutes. Go ahead. Well, wait, everybody else.
All right, open up for public.
And
Please.
just to emphasize during the public portion, please make sure you speak into the mic. Because if I can't understand or hear you, then no one on YouTube can, and it won't be transcribed appropriately.
Mike, you know where to find us.
Are we gonna give the stop signs on East Shore?
Yes.
Have you ordered them yet?
Oh, yeah, they've been,
I could have saved you some money.
we bought them last year. I mean, they were bought last year. so-
Because on the corner of Mini Wawa and Shaw and Dotsey, coming from the east to the west to go up the Lake Shore Boulevard, nobody stops. They don't even do a slow roll through. They blast right through that stop sign. They'll do a slow roll through by her house, but by drive there is where it connects, they just blast right on through. What, I will authorize the police department to park a car in my driveway and just sit there for a while and you'll make some money. Does that sound fair? Because we're not covering that stop sign. I wonder if we're covering any stop signs.
Well, 18 of them last month.
Really? You could have got that in one day at lunch.
With all due respect, those stop signs are not reasons for a fundraiser. They're not there for that purpose. They're there for the safety of the residents and liability of the village.
See, writing a citation is not, it's a corrective measure, it's not, to be honest with you, we don't get that much from the stop sign ticket. We get very little, the court gets all the money. All it is a corrective action to try and curb somebody's poor driving ability and habits.
Well, can we do that? Are you authorized to do that? Are you able to do that? Then let's do it.
Sit in your driveway, sit in your driveway.
Sit in my drive. You got it.
What's your address again?
My what?
Your address again?
8 Mini Wawa.
Okay, thank you. Yes, George?
Jenny, can you hear him?
Yes, it's a little blurry, but yes.
All right. To the Kratzer kids, the Transky kids, say hello, for one thing. The banner idea might be a good idea, or it might be considerable. If they do go forth with it, they could maybe post it on the basketball court fence, and you would see it coming all the way up East Shore Boulevard as maybe a tribute area to history or people of concern, I thought with it. Secondly, a wheelchair at the Village Hall wouldn't be a bad thing. It's easy, I'm sure they're floating around and nobody's just button down. But it would be a good thing to have on standby for whoever might need it. Thirdly, chemicals that are used on the interior of this building, it would be nice to know that it would be posted somewhere, and somewhere what chemicals are being used on the inside of the building. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Linda.
I want to complain about the flag. We had an officer that was killed in Cleveland. Flag is not get raised. I think it's called in there. It's not raised when someone is killed or put down. And everyone likes the police department. The least they can do is someone should be in charge to respect those men.
You mean lower?
Yeah, when the detective in Cleveland was killed, I had to call the mayor and say, would you have someone lower the flag? And then it goes up after the burial, but nobody takes care of that.
Okay.
So I don't,
We can take that on as a job.
so probably should be.
We ended up last time. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that was our specific job, but now.
Well, I don't think it's anybody's, why I'm bringing it up. But I think just out of respect for you guys and all the rest of them are having a very hard time out there.
We'll take care of it.
So we should show that respect.
I agree with you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
Another comment about the I'm here.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt. That mic is actually pretty awful. If it's possible, can you guys take the mic from the mayor and use that, since the public portion is mostly the public talking, and that will be a little bit more helpful. Sorry, I know these like audio issues. I just don't want to come in the public portion over there and give everyone COVID. So
Okay, is that better? I hope.
much better. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Debbie King, 43 Shore Boulevard. I have a couple questions or comments. It might be helpful if the community, everyone knew what all the police department does every month. We're here, so we get to hear what all is in your report. And we used to have it in the Timberlake Times every month. It would be reported there. We don't do that anymore. We haven't for years. I don't know how many years, maybe 10 years. But it might be helpful if we did put it in the Times.
I'm sorry, you mean like the citations and the stuff, like the little report?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. It used to be in there every month so that people could see how many citations you guys handed out, how many. And it was a list of, I could get you an old one. Just so you could see.
Yeah, I think it's in the minutes.
It's in the minutes though.
Yeah, it's generally in the minutes, so I think that's why they haven't put it in the Times again.
It's in
I
the
don't know.
minutes, but I don't think it is in the Times.
Yeah. The minutes get published in the Times and it's in there every month, but it's in paragraph form, so we could put the entire page.
Or maybe I'm just used to seeing it in a different format too. Yeah, it's under. There used to be like 20 things on there. I don't know. If that's under right now.
It's actually this last one got under the front office.
Sorry, it's again getting hard to hear you. It might just be that if you're in the back of the hall, like I'm not sure if you're toward the back, Debbie, would you be willing to come a little bit forward? Maybe like where those empty chairs are on the
Sure.
left-hand side closest to you or right-hand side closest to you?
Okay. And what does why are we all of a sudden getting the street commissioner? Why is that important?
That's required by the code official handbook, ORC.
I'm glad you're on top of things.
Yeah.
Another question I had. Who's doing public record requests? Oh, okay. And when the Kratzer family, when you talk to them again, maybe you might want to ask them where they want that flag put. Oh, I'm sure she didn't know.
Oh.
That's one thing I've learned.
Yeah.
I left them tell me what to do.
And you know, the only reason I actually recommended the telephone pole is because that's where you see them on all the other ones.
Oh,
I
sure.
mean,
Yeah.
we can find some place within the village to do it, or on Lake Shore. I mean, we really don't have telephone poles within the village. They're all in everybody's backyard. So we'll see it.
Yeah, that was another question I had that I didn't write down. Why we have telephone poles, or we have lamp posts?
We have a couple.
A couple
I don't know
in
if
somebody's
they're-
backyard. Why do we have that? I don't know. I'm sure we paid for that, but I don't know why we have a light, a street light. It's on Shaw and Darcy. I don't know what the number is. That, you know, that big house that just sold? Yeah, right there, in their backyard. Right smack dab in the middle. I mean, it shines a little bit of light on the street, but I don't know why we have that one. I don't know, just a proof. Oh, I just assumed we were, but I don't know.
But if you have a telephone pole in your yard, like say it's either in your front yard or in front of your business, you can pay to have a light put on it to shine onto your property. CDI will allow you to do things like $39 a month. I have one in my, that's how I know. It's not my utility pole, but since it's their pole, you can pay to have a light shine in your yard. It doesn't hurt the neighbors. And they just send you a bill every month. Comes on it, it's dark.
I don't know who's paying for that, them or us, or if they even know that we are. I don't know. All right, thank you. Oh, I had another question for the police, though, if you don't mind.
Can you come up
One other question. If I have a boat in my yard, do I have to have a license plate on my trailer? If I don't?
So there is a little loophole in the law. If you live within, I want to say it's 5 or 6 miles to the launch that you use to put your boat into the water, technically you don't need to have a license.
Okay.
As long as you travel on a road that has designated speed limit less than 25 miles an hour, so we have to run Lake Shore, so they're good.
Right, yeah. That's the only loophole to the trailer license.
Okay. So I gotta get a plate then.
But you would want to get one anyway, because you're traveling outside of the village. You don't want to get stopped.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Wait, George, I just wanted to clarify something. You said that we should have a wheelchair in the home? Okay,
Just a wheelchair tucked there for when somebody needs it.
okay. No, I was just curious if there was like something that happened and I missed it. or-
No.
Okay,
Things happen, but
that's a good idea.
they get there.
Maybe we can donate one.
Or you might be able to get one from like county council.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. I think we have one.
Oh.
Honey,
Maybe,
what's the idea, babe? I can't hear.
to donate a wheelchair. Maybe from our,
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
have one.
It has sentimental value.
Yeah, that would.
Much better than a wheelchair.
You now.
On the court,
What's that about? One thing I do suggest though, I mean, that is a good idea.
I'll be happy to do it for this village.
for a wheelchair. Okay. Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't go-
I mean, that's a good idea.
I'll check.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
All right. good idea.
I do like the idea.
Okay.
You can want it again.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
There's one more thing, if nobody's done.
Okay, go ahead.
Speaking about the vote, I have an anonymous complaint here, and I promise to keep it to the public portion. There are people that walk to the village often. They say this is a formal complaint requesting the village of Timberlake to enforce the boat, RV, trailer, campers, and garbage can ordinances. Every day we walk and notice 5 Points East Shore to Wausau and Powin full of boats, campers, and RVs. Instead of calling it 5 Points, we now refer to it as Timberlake's RV Park. Over the years, many of us have received warnings and notices to move boats, RVs, trailers, campers, and garbage cans from our properties. Some have complied. There should be consistent application of the ordinances. People that have lived in the village for years should not be treated differently than new residents that moved into the village that believe they are exempt from the ordinances. As you are aware, twice the village of Timberlake put on the ballot and voted on regulations pertaining to boats, RVs, trailers, and campers. Please enforce what the residents have voted on in the past and enforce the village of Timberlake ordinances. I promised to read this for this person, so I have. The reason why I brought it up, you had brought about the boat, okay? This issue is always been a hot issue. We'll talk about it. We can put it on the agenda for next meeting if you'd like. He and she were afraid to come tonight, or I wouldn't say afraid. They don't want to be singled out. And I said I would say what they wanted me to say tonight. So that's what part of my public portion I promised to.
Are they enforcing those ordinances?
Pardon me?
Are they enforcing those ordinances?
Well, I know that I've talked to people, even when I put out the levy, when I went to people's houses, I'm like, hey, can you move this, can you move that? I know I've enforced it. I know we've sent out initial letters and so forth. We've talked, how to enforce it is still a problem. Going to court, having someone represent us there is still a problem when it comes to legalities. We're working on this. I don't want people to forget that we're still working on this, and that's our first year. And I promise to get something done about this, because as people say to me, why do I have to comply and everybody else doesn't? What about my rights of complying and everybody else not complying? Who are you favoring? Who are you not favoring? I've had new residents move in, honestly, that I've asked to move things, and they do. And I've had other new residents come in and decide to be part of the solution. Somebody I know actually helped a resident put up panels to hide the garbage can. They stepped up and were part of the solution instead of the problem, and help other people hide the garbage cans. And other people, have been very aggressive in a pushback to my husband and myself with the things that they have said to us about when we just ask them to comply with ordinances, threatening, or that we threaten them because we ask them to do something, or that we threaten them because we go by their house too much.
I thought the police were going to do the trailers.
We have to go through with that, because right now, how many officers are we down already? Six.
We don't have the manpower to do that,
Right now.
unfortunately, right now. So, and again, do we really want to go around citing residents and fining residents for something they should really want to clean up anyway? I mean, why do people want their houses and their,
It should be followed.
right, it
Right.
should be. And why are these people not following the law? They're asked to move it and they don't do it.
So we're gonna have
So-
this is not gonna go away.
Oh,
We
well,
know
they
it.
will get cited. Everyone will get cited eventually if they don't move this stuff and they don't comply with the ordinances. They will get cited. Right now, we're building to that point. Again, we don't have the manpower to do it, but when we do, we will. Yes.
So what is the manpower that you need? Something that we can do?
Well-
Unfortunately, no. The problem, here's our problem, because we're a part-time police department, and we have a lot of officers that only work 3 days a month. Say they write that citation. They have a normal full-time job. So for us, they get paid $1 a year. But say they work at the Cleveland Clinic and they're making $28 an hour, okay? So if the resident fights that ticket, my person now has to call off work to appear in court because they have a subpoena. So the village can't afford to pay their 1 day of missed pay. There's no way we can do it. So do you think that once they lose a day's pay in their regular department, they're gonna want to stay here?
What about the
Because
solicitor?
once he didn't issue the citation.
Okay.
Whoever issued the citation, whoever's initials are on the bottom of that ticket is the person that has to appear in court. Okay, so now we have the dilemma of, okay, well, I just missed out on a $200 day, that would have been my overtime day or whatever it was. I'm done working for the village because now it's costing me money. Now I'm going to be down even more patrolmen, which now you won't have a police department, because if we don't have enough people to man the station 24/7, we're going to end up having to turn things over to the county. So, which means people are going to have to drive all the way to Painesville to the sheriff's office to file reports. When you call for an officer, you're looking at least a 20-minute response time unless it's an emergency. they're gonna call Eastlake so that Eastlake can respond right away, and it'll get taken over by a sheriff's officer when he gets here. So that's what we're trying to avoid.
But we are looking at another way. We've talked to other cities and what they do and how they do it without that being done. We are working on it, but we have to make sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and we have to run it by council, of course.
There's also a lack of officers that are available to even hire, and we are a small village, so our pay level is the lowest.
I mean, bigger municipalities are having problems finding police.
Yes.
I mean, Willoughby just gave a test not that long ago. They had like 80 people show up. 80. Back when I started, if you weren't the first 200 in line, they just turned you away right then. You didn't even get a chance to turn in an application. Now they would love for that to happen. Eastlake, their last test, I don't even think they had 40.
And I know.
And they're paying, what, around $70,000 a year? And they couldn't even get 40 applicants to come sit and take a test, even though, maybe a third of those didn't even pass the test or won't even make it to the next bracket.
And Willoughby Hills as well.
Willoughby Hills is having the same problem.
I mean, what you have to remember is our officers, our paid officers, she just got promoted to a paid officer tonight.
And $9.
To $9 an hour.
$9 an hour.
$9 an hour.
Willoughby,
Our service people
are making
cutting grass
an
make
hour.
more than that.
Yeah. I mean, it's. County deputies, part-time county deputies are paid $21 an hour. Yeah.
Perry Village and North Perry Village start at $16 an hour.
Yeah, for part-time.
And then
The same thing that we're
part-time.
asking our officers to do. Anywhere else at a minimum is $16.
And that's a promotion to get $9 an hour here, because when you're hired, like the two gentlemen that were hired earlier, they make $1 a year and they're required to work 24 hours a month. So if you guys want to help out, find someone who wants to come work for free.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. The Willowick officer that was just shot 2 weeks ago. That could have easily been our officer. If that individual, instead of turning and heading to Lakeland, turned and headed towards the lake shore, that could have happened right here in the village. Hopefully, some of my people have vests that are expired by 5 and 10 years. I don't even know if it'll stop around, but it's a requirement. They have to have it. And I have to give them this blessing saying, I'm praying that it works. But, sometimes people in the community are asking us to jump through hoops for $1 a year. We're just trying to say, we'd like to make your community the best that we possibly can. We're responding to your house when somebody's climbing through your window. We're here for you. But on the other hand, I can't jeopardize it, a high-paying full-time job with benefits that I have to support my family with to come in and testify on a parking ticket. It's hard. When I took this job and I said, yeah, cut my salary in half and give it to the patrol people, I'm willing to take this on as a part-time chief and all the liabilities that go with it, I'm out of my freaking mind. But I knew a lot of the people that were here at the department and I did it for them. Okay. The thing is this is a dying profession. Unfortunately, there are a lot of good candidates coming in, from the academies, which I teach in the academy. I try to grab some of the kids out of the academy that are in there. I can call them kids because I'm close to 50 now. But the thing is there are also a lot coming into the ranks that you're just like, I hope you don't become a statistic. You just don't have the instincts that a lot of policemen had 10, 15, 20 years ago. They're just naive to some things. And I'll tell kids that in the academy. And if they continue on, that's on them. But I've been teaching in the academy for like 12 years now, and I've become a pretty good judge of character after 28 years. I mean, I've been an FTO for, probably 18 of those years. But the thing is we're trying to do the best that we can to support the village. Just sometimes we just need a little bit of support and help from the community just to understand, we're putting our lives on the line for $1 a year or $70,000 a year. Huge difference. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't even know if it's for me.
You're right, and actually, to piggyback with you, the city of Painesville I seen had for the past week, and they're putting on the tests, and then they're also doing, they can't even, I don't think, get lateral transfers.
Yeah, you don't have guys that are willing to leave their job to take the chance of not making it somewhere else.
Yeah, I think there's something out of lateral change.
I took the test at Mentor, there was 600 people that took that test. Last test at Mentor had 135, only 75 people passed.
Yeah, and that's probably to fill 6 spots, maybe. Yeah, I mean.
When I started, it used to be 800 to 1,000 people.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be crazy. When I took the test in Eastlake, the North High cafeteria was full. There was at least 500 people that took that test. The last test they just gave, they did it at the community center, and it was 40 people. That's what we're stuck with. You know, there's still firemen around. Everybody wants to be a fireman, but nobody wants to be a cop anymore.
Well, no, they're having trouble with the fire departments too.
Are they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fire departments are having trouble.
It's unfortunate, but sooner or
No,
later,
first responders.
people are going to start having to respond to their own calls. Unfortunately, I say in 10 years, it plus with all the, and just to throw this out here, so the Black Lives Matter Lake County just served me with a public records request. It's going to take me a month to fill. They want every training record all the way back to 2007. So I'll be up in the attic for days and weeks trying to compile all this information.
It's going to be multiple officers.
Oh,
Probably close to
it's
100 hours.
Yeah, and it's not just me. They did this public records request to every department in Lake County.
Oh, wow.
So when you already see what's coming down the pipe, that's why people aren't signed up for this job anymore. They're like, this is ridiculous. So, I mean, that's just a little bit of what's going on. I just got that today. I just talked to the law director about it earlier. But, I mean, it's going to take forever to try and fill that, and we have to fill it. Yeah, plus I'm going to have to dig. I mean, that's 3 chiefs ago. I'm going to have to try and look through all their paperwork and their notes from 3 chiefs prior to me.
Don't worry, they didn't write down anything.
But then I'm going to have to get up and testify to why they didn't.
Yeah,
And because it all comes back on my.
Yeah, they were.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No.
It's actually very nice to hear you speak because
Thank you.
people do not know all that you guys do for us. They don't know that there was an incident right after our parade.
Yeah.
You know, and that you guys risked your lives and took care of that right away.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not in
For
your
a
blood,
little
you're in
pay.
the wrong job. And you guys really have a lot of good people here working in the village, even though they're part-time, even I'm part-time. But you have a lot of good people that really care. And yes, some people are like, every time I drive by, there's always a car in the garage. I know they're sitting, yeah, but they're either sitting in there working on a report, they're trying to get information from central dispatch, they're taking a phone call, they're returning a phone call. Because remember, when you call the phone here, if the officer's not here, it's got to go to central. Central won't give you any of that information over the radio because people have scanners to listen. So we have to come back here so that we can call out there so we can figure it out, then call the complainant back, figure out what they want, go out and figure out whatever the noise or, neighbor complaint is. Then we have to turn around, come back here to do all the paperwork, to enter it in the computer, and then let the complainant know that we have to get this all figured out. And if the complainant left to go to the grocery shop, now we're sitting by the phone waiting for them to answer because we don't want to miss their return phone call. So yeah, we do spend a lot of time in there, but they do a lot of patrolling. The only reason the stats on traffic stops has really slowed down, I'll say it's me. I told people, do not make frivolous stops if you don't have to. One, because we don't need people hacking and coughing and making you sick, because then if one of our residents becomes exposed and we've had contact with them, now they're going to miss my job, their full-time job, and now their family is quarantined. So for us to have to interact for 20 traffic stops in one day, like some people would like us to do, that's just boosting our possibility of getting our guys sick, which then just going to turn and hurt the village. Because then we're not going to have people. Every community in Lake County has done the same thing. Unfortunately, if you could hear the meetings at the court with what the judges are yelling at, because the people that are losing the most money is the court, not the police departments. We get very little of those fines. So when the judge is like, well, we can't even pay our personnel because you guys aren't out there writing tickets. Well, we're not writing tickets because we're not trying to get our people sick or communicate that to everyone else. Okay? We're just like everyone else. Everybody else has to work from home. We don't get that same kind of option. We have to work for the community. We'll respond to every single call and every single complaint. And if there's some jerk driver that needs a ticket, we'll give it to them. Trust me, my guys and girls are well enough and versed in doing that. But if it's something that we can catch up to them and give them the finger wave or say, listen, slow down, knock it off from a distance, fantastic. That's just the way that it is. I don't need my people getting sick. We'll make our point when we need to.
Okay, thank you.
So then, going through a stop sign That's off the table, you're right?
No, I didn't say that. You'll see us in your driveway. I'm not saying that we're gonna exclude it. If there is a traffic complaint, which you just lodged, we will take care of it. We will sit in your driveway, okay? If they do the California roll and they nod their head and they're like, okay, sorry, and we acknowledge, okay, that may not be the person we need. He does it twice in a row, then he'll deserve his ticket. If they blow straight through and we're sitting there, then they'll get a ticket. Okay?
We're not sitting on Woburn, getting people rolling through a right on 91, just to write tickets. Our goal, if I understand the chief correctly, is number one, to be seen. One of the comments I got from one of the residents was the reason we don't have bad people in Timberlake is because we always see you guys driving around. Other people see that too. They go another place. The loop in Timberlake is 1.1 mile. I mean, you can cover the village several times in a matter of minutes, and people constantly, there's nowhere else to go. They constantly see us out there, and that's what keeps people out of the village from breaking into your houses, breaking into your cars. In all honesty, it's kind of what you need.
And I'm already out of the fuel budget. My fuel budget's zero.
Yep, you're right. Got that right.
Right now, I'm begging Peter to pay Paul so that I can keep fuel in our cars. I have no more, my budget ended this month. I ran out.
And for what it's worth, you'll see me in your driveway on Monday. I just took your address and put it in my phone.
And I'll be there Friday.
There's a one that goes through every day between 7:30 in the morning and she goes through every damn day.
I'll be in your driveway at 7.
7:50.
I'll tell Cindy to be careful, Mike.
I'll be there at 7, so like sausages.
Okay, any more?
Hey, I go to work at like 4:30 a.m., Mike. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, I do have something. So since we're talking about being law abiding and we're talking about COVID, I just want to emphasize, because I'm not seeing this being followed at all. As the only physician, I think, that's currently on the council and maybe right now in the meeting, it's really important that everyone wears masks according to the current Ohio mandate, which says that you have to wear facial coverings in public at all times when, number one, you are at an indoor location that is not a residence, aka Village Hall. Number two, you're outdoors but unable to maintain a 6-foot social distance from people who are not household members. Number three, waiting for, riding, driving, or operating public transportation such as a taxi, car service, or private car used for ride sharing. The order is required for anyone 10 years old or older to wear a mask. Additional exclusions include those with a medical condition or a disability, or those communicating with someone with a disability, those who are actively exercising or playing sports, which none of us currently are, those who are officiants at religious services, which this is not counted as, those who are actively involved in public safety, such as police officers, or those who are actively eating or drinking. So again, we should, especially those that are on council, including my sister, should be wearing their masks, because otherwise we look pretty ridiculous not following Ohio law, given the fact that we are officials who should be showing a better example to the village. I mean, it's shameful. So I really hope that we can get this issue resolved.
Thank you, doctor. And just so everyone knows, I have an underlying health condition, and that's why I'm exempting myself. But
You wear your tag next time. He has a tag.
I have a tag, but again, I have doctor's orders.
I'm sorry, I can't hear anyone in the village. It's like the mic is muted or something's going on. You guys are very muted.
How about now?
It's like really, really quiet for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's really quiet.
What about a face shield?
I heard someone say, what about a face shield? Is that the case? Is that Debbie?
So that you can't wear a mask.
Oh, there we go. I can hear it now. Thanks, Mayor.
How about a face shield if you can't wear a mask?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, these mandates, these laws are simply put because we're trying to protect constituents of Ohio, And so I absolutely agree. I think that it would be a wise decision to have a face shield if you can't wear a mask. If there's anyone that cannot afford to buy a mask or buy a face shield or have access to a KN95, then I am more than happy to donate that. I have those supplies. So you're more, everyone knows where we live, and I constantly have masks and face shields lying around. I'm more than happy to bring those in, but I just really want to make sure that we're all protecting ourselves and each other. Most of our constituents in Timberlake are over the age of 50 and are considered very high risk for COVID. And I've personally intubated several people already with COVID, and I would just hate for one of our own, village members to get sick. So I just want us to follow, basic mask hygiene and laws.
Carl, is there a way that COVID could put the money we get for COVID could pay for masks for the?
Well, actually, I need to talk to you regarding on the supplies because of the quantity that I need.
Are you speaking of masks?
Oh, the whole, when you guys decided at the work session, what you wanted to do for the public quantity.
I thought it was something with all better. I didn't think it was.
Yeah, right, you were going to say the council decided for the public. I can't get that quantity, so I need to talk to you guys, vendor or something that we need that quantity for.
Danny, do we have, do you know what a wonder who can supply the masks for like hundreds of people?
Yeah, so that's where I'm running into the problem. I can get moved, but I keep party like you guys did the conversation. Why don't you for all residents?
So we're trying to put a personal care package together for every. Oh, I see. Okay. But in order to get that quantity,
I'm getting an idea.
Okay.
So maybe,
But
yeah,
yeah,
in the medical field,
we're trying to do
help
like
us sometimes.
yeah,
I mean,
and tighter little package.
Okay. I know they, yeah, I know like restaurants and they're getting them, but I'm just not sure where they get them.
But I think it's with the hand sanitizer, like I need a whole one for every.
So she can hear us again.
So yeah, so that's where I'm running into the problem.
Okay.
Sorry, it's really hard to hear you guys, but I mean, I'm hearing something about masks. I'm hearing maybe someone asked like where to buy them. Is that, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the case, but if we have COVID money, we definitely should buy it. Otherwise, like I said, I'm happy to donate it. I can get some from Metro, whatever, I just want to make sure that we're all being safe. In terms of like where to buy them, I know that even Amazon is selling like KN95, so there's quite a lot of places.
There you go. How's that?
I think that's adjourned.
No, there's one more question.
Oh,
That's good. Thank you.
Sonny, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. That's actually the clearest it's been tonight. Thank you.
All right. Police department. Police department. Just something that I noticed over the years. If there's an incident locally here and you're on foot or you're in the park or somewhere, or you want to come to the village hall to find a cop, a policeman, there's no way of knowing if they're in there or out of there, or there's no way of knowing if you're wasting your time knocking on the door. Knock on the door, and then 5 minutes later, I'm still standing there, and then somebody will come walking out, a policeman. Well, I understand we're on a one-man police department, but at the same time, there's got to be some way of addressing the idea that, look, if you've got an emergency, go elsewhere, because there should be an indicator of some sort of design that says there's nobody home.
So that, I'm sorry, was there another part?
Well, I realize what we're advised to do is call up dispatch and then they hand it around and all that. But in the meantime, if I'm sitting here with a bleeding foot and needs stitches or something like that, I'm knocking on the door.
So that's the perfect time to dial 911, not even dispatch. If you're bleeding, you need an ambulance.
Just as example.
But, so it's kind of twofold. Say we have a red sign for policeman gone, green sign for policeman here. If that sign is flipped one way or the other and I'm a bad guy, and I know the policeman's in there, then I have free roam of the entire village. So it's bad because you don't know if I am in there or I'm not in there, but it's good because you don't know if I'm in there or I'm not in there. The other thing is there's a doorbell that you can hit and that will chime in. So we're always having to do mandated training and everything else. So some of the guys and girls are in there, and if we have the volume up so we can hear the online stuff through Okada and everything else, and we have the door closed, we may not hear you knock, but if you hit the doorbell, it chimes right there under our desk. So we can come to the door. I wouldn't recommend knocking just because if the steel door is closed and you're knocking on the glass door, we probably won't hear you if that metal door is closed.
Well,
and if you have any type of emergency, you should. The phone number, yeah, the phone number is on the door. So even if.
Not in all cases, do you want to call 911 or,
No, not the phone number for central dispatch. So even if you weren't a resident, you were just sitting here in the park and you tripped and fell and you wanted to talk to an officer, or you saw somebody steal something out of a car, the phone number, the non-emergency phone number for central dispatch to get a hold of us is right on the door.
It also helps protect you by going from central dispatch
because they know where we are.
Where they are, and then if you're in a situation where they can.
And then a final issue or question. In the event of protracted litigation, I guess I address this to the solicitor. What types of litigation are paid for in the employment contract?
Any type of criminal prosecutions or anything like that is covered under the contract. Wouldn't be any extra billable hours. Essentially a civil lawsuit. If somebody was to sue the city civilly, that would be something that we would charge by the hour, which is pretty rare. Hasn't happened since I've been here or any other municipalities that I'm in. For the most part, pretty much everything I do is covered under the annual salary.
Thank you.
Any questions, comments? Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
Great, I have a motion. Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
All
We all aye.
right, all right.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye, great, thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Hi, Jeremy.
Be safe.
Oh, yeah. Have fun.